is your worst enemy? Now let me explain that. I am very much into manifestation. I have practiced manifestation for years. And you know what? I've been doing it wrong my whole life. My manifestation journey consisted of materialistic things. Videos that were like, I want to manifest a car, $500. I've always been a logistic person when it came down to manifestation. It didn't make sense to me, especially in the law of assumption community, that you just do nothing and get everything. Because aren't you supposed to work hard to get the things that you want? Not necessarily work hard, but to at least have some movement to the things that you need or want. And that's what I believe misconstrues like manifestation, especially in present day. When I said in the beginning that your mind, what did I say? Something about your mind being your downfall, or, well, not your mind, the thoughts that you think in your mind is your downfall. Most likely it is fear. Last night I was in my room thinking about my future, and those thoughts weren't coming from a good place. I was constantly, saying, where am I gonna go? What is the next step for me? Is anything ever going to happen for me at all? Is all of this for nothing? Did I choose the wrong path? Did I choose the wrong thing? And the thing is, that's the inner fear in you speaking. I am not saying be so delusional in the fact that your life is taking turns, right? Okay, so there has to be a balance. We live in a 3D world. We don't live in a 5D. I wish we did, but we don't. We live in a 3D where logic and, if you're into spirituality need to coexist with each other, balancing each other out. Now, I was living in a state where my logical mind outweighed my spirituality, meaning that I'm only set in this world to work and to work along with capitalism. I know I'll get like a few maybe eye rolls, a lot of people quoting Miss Kardashian, people don't want to work anymore. I have dealt with the conversations of it all. I have been told that I am too free of a spirit, that I am too lenient, that I should take life more seriously because we live in a world where the world is changing, and you see it's not for the betterment of young people, and I am mostly referring to 18 to let's reach around 29-year-olds. We are constantly seeing on social media, it's time to get a job. It's time to take a hold of your life and literally grab it by the balls. But what if you're at that stage in your life where you don't know what to do? What's next? Sitting in the library, being philosophical, talking about the ways of the universe isn't going to pay the bills. I know. I wish it did, but it doesn't, and that is the reality of life right now. But sometimes you just can't explain it to other people who don't or will not understand you. I think when you have been living a life based on always progressing, always going to the next thing, the next job, what do I have to do to hustle? What do I have to do to make more money? Should I DoorDash? Should I get 2 jobs at once? I can't afford it. I can't afford to not get money because this world is revolved around money. And I understand that. I have literally parents that said, I don't care, just get a job, just get your money. And if you don't get it, well, then what we're gonna do next? What's the plan? When I look at my fellow colleagues, my friends, and a lot of those people who I associate with are successful, I look at the dynamics of their family. Were you raised in a home where you were supported no matter what you wanted to do in life? Or were you raised in fear, where if you chose a direction that didn't correlate to what others saw for you in your life, was that the right decision? I have noticed that the decisions that I have made so far in my life weren't really for me. It was the fear of what I was taught, that what the world is from such a young age. And I'm 25 years old, but I constantly have these what ifs. What if I chose this school instead of what my parents wanted me to choose for a school? What if I made the sacrifice of going to the thing that would make not only myself happy, but the world around me happy, instead of a choice where it's based on capitalism? Even now, the decisions I make, there's like a bug in my head saying, but what if it doesn't happen? What if nothing happens? What if my parents were right? And it just causes a cycle of, you know what, fuck it. Fuck it. I'm just gonna go to the job. I'm just going to do whatever I need to do to move through the world based on a belief that society, my family has upheld in me. Sorry, laughing at this kid, so cute. I love it. And that's what got me into manifestation, spirituality, and them coexisting with each other for me. The only way I can control my situation and help calm myself down and not worry so much about the future is being in the present. And I know that is the tale all the time, being in the present, but it's true, because if you really think about it, you're never really in the future. You're constantly in the present. Sure, there is tomorrow, there is next week, but where are you at right now? You're at the present. And the only thing you can really do right now is to get your thoughts in order. You see, saying that, nothing will ever work out for me, I should have listened to my parents, maybe they were right. And by the way, take these situations take my advice with a grain of salt, because you might have a really great relationship with your parents. You might. It's like the saying, I think Twitter does this a lot, as well as TikTok now. For example, oh, I don't really like donuts. Oh, so you don't like chocolate? I don't know. What I'm saying is, if it resonates, let it resonate. Let it resonate. If it doesn't, let it fly. We all are on our different journeys at the end of the day. Not controlling, basically, deep in your gut, you know what you have to do. And I think it's so annoying when people try to look at you and think, okay, you're not doing it right. You're definitely not doing it right. Why are you making this decision? Why are you making this choice? And it's the thing that you can't explain. You can't explain, because this is your own world. This is what you're currently living in. You are eventually the own character in your story. So how can others who see you understand that? Who see you just like as who you believe you are, understand that? I remember my mom saying, I carried you, in my stomach. I know you. I knew you since you were born. Like, I know what you need. I know what you should be. And she's like, I can only offer you. I can only give you advice. But the advice turned into, if you understand where I'm coming from, the ones who do understand, motherly advice can turn into, I'm just letting you know what you should do. But at the same time, I'm going to judge you on the decisions that I told you that you should do when you're not doing it. I have a hard time asking for help from my mother, because that face I made, it's like she helps me and I'm drained. I'm drained from her help. I don't find it helpful. I find it actually annoying, because all my life I've been told what to do, and I've also never had the time to figure out what I want to do or who I am or what excites me. It's always been, this is how society is, so you should follow that. Going back to the fear, those fears of saying that you'll never make it, that things will never change, that making that big jump was really, really risky, and you should have never made that jump. It stems from somewhere, something, and that's why I reference my friends and my colleagues who are doing the things that they love. And I turn and I'm like, what's your relationship with your mom? What's your relationship with your father? If it's not both, maybe it's just your father, your caregiver, your mother, your sister, your aunt. Being brought up into a world where physically you're already limited. My mom always said to me, you're a black woman, you have to work twice as hard as everyone else. And in societal standards, yes, that's true. That is true. But I've always had tough love. I've always been met with tough love. I was never given the opportunity to explore what it's like to feel and be unlimited. You see how I reference, I'm a wicked girl through and through, look. I'm a wicked girl through and through. So being brought into a world and your parents are already putting expectations on you and limiting you and believing that it should only be one way, it follows you. Like I said, it follows you into your adulthood. Because the difference from my friends who are doing the things that they want, are happy in the decisions that they make, and I'm not saying that their life is perfect, that they have nothing bad going on, but it's the difference in their confidence, the way they navigate through the world. And it's a difference between, how you were raised. Unfortunately, I was raised that you're forever going to work and you're never going to experience that easy life. My parents who made it, if they've made it, they're very established people, still bring up their struggles from their 20s. Why when you've made it now? When I've made decisions that they're not fond of, they're like, when I was your age, oh, stop you right there. I genuinely don't care. I don't. Okay, baby, I'm so sorry that you had to work really, really, really hard at age 20. But you didn't heal that side of you, and you let it travel down to your children. And now your child is sitting in a library talking about how fear is ruining your life. That little voice in your head that is feeding you fear, that's not your friend. And I can get more into manifestation and saying that manifestation is basically coffee break. Oh my god. Manifestation is believing what you know is true right now. Don't look at your bank account. Don't look at the circumstances you are in right now. I'm not saying to ignore those circumstances, especially for people who can't ignore those circumstances, but you have to start somewhere. Aren't you tired of being miserable? Aren't you tired of subsiding to your controlling parents, to society, you're gonna crash and burn, and you're gonna wake up one day and look around and say, this life is not mine. The decisions I made are not mine at all. So you can say, this is just woo-woo, this is just you crashing out on where your life is at right now, this is just you being a bum. Whoa. But you gotta get control of your mind. You gotta get control of your life. Diving into manifestation, spirituality, self, those are all things I believe. I said I. Well, I think I don't think. Okay, that's you. I said I though. I believe those things can help progress your life in beautiful ways. And I'll end this right here. And again, I hope when I edit this video, it makes sense. I love you. Bye.